All right, so I'm going to explain data engineering, and I'm going to try and do this without using any complicated language or any kind of things that you might not have heard. So let's try and keep it as basic as possible, because I think that would actually get out the best understanding of this topic anyway. So first of all, let's talk about why you might want to be doing data engineering. It is one of the fastest growing professions, definitely in the data science realm, or data in general realm. There is a big need for it, and as you can see here, the pay average for someone at Facebook who's a data engineer is 92,000. That's in the UK. So if you're in the US, you're balling. You're making way more than that. So go for it. I'm going to explain this through an example. I think that's the best way to understand what a data engineer actually does. So let's assume we are a big commercial supermarket, and we have an online shop, and we want to know more. We want to do some data. We want to do some analysis on our data. Well, that would be great if the data was already in a nice format for us, but this is not always the case. So, for example, when a person is filling up their shopping basket and they click on the checkout, that data isn't put in such a great format for us to do analysis straight away from. It could look something like this. This is called a JSON format. It's actually not really necessary to understand what JSON actually means, but it's just data that might look something like this, where we have the event, we have timestamp, we have purchase complete, we have item, we have page duration, we have value, and there could be a lot more information. It could be very messy data that's not very necessary. Let's assume that we're only interested in the ones that the person's only interested in making analysis on items that have already been bought. So we would actually not want information like this, where the purchase complete is false. So we don't want this thing, and we only want the ones that are complete. So purchase complete true. So we want this one with the apple and the banana down here. And let's say we don't actually care about the timestamp. We don't care when they bought it. We just care about the page duration, the item, and that's simply it, and the value. So how do we do this? Well, this is the responsibility of a data engineer. So let's just do a quick recap. So they clicked on checkout. This generated some data, and it looks like this. At the moment, that is not the cause or concern, or this isn't what a data engineer needs to do. That data is generated. The data engineer needs to, first of all, get that information that's generated, and then do some manipulation on it, change it around, clean it, make it look nice, make it look really, really appealing, to make it look something like this. So then we have this information stored as it is, item, the value, the page duration. We want to clean the data that's in this weird format over here, and just get out the necessary points, what's actually helpful to us. And that is all what a data engineer does. They clean the data, they extract it. They're also responsible for, once the data is generated, where's that data stored? So that's a responsibility of a data engineer. I'm not going to go into detail of what this actually means in terms of what softwares you could use. This is talking about cloud and stuff like that. Let's just forget about that for now. Simply, what a data engineer is doing is they are responsible for getting this raw data, storing it, and then doing some manipulation on this data and getting it into a usable format like this. So raw data into a usable format, and then from here we leave it on to data scientists, the data analysts, whoever, to do some analysis on this, quite simply. And this fits really nicely with the data science hierarchy of needs. This is the pyramid. Some more complicated stuff that you don't really need to know. The collection stage isn't really the responsibility of a data engineer. They say that these two stages over here are I'm just gonna pen it just to make sure that's super clear, super unnecessary. These two stages are the responsibility of a data engineer. So that's being able to move and store this data, and also explore and transform. So the moving store essentially just means that once that data is generated, they're responsible for receiving that data, and then this explore and transform is doing the manipulation so that the data is in the usable format, like we've done over here, right? Getting it from this point to this point. And that's essentially what Data Engineer does.